ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, verse number 13. So we read the arrival or appearance of Sri Garga Muni at the place of Nanda Maharaj, and then Nanda Maharaj requested him to do the name giving ceremony for the two children, and we read the sloka in which he gave names to Balaram as Rohineya, Bala, Rama, Sankarshana, and he explained why he gave these names. And now in this sloka he is giving the name to Krishna. In none of the slokas actually he says that he will be known as Krishna. He only says that Idanim Krishna Tam Gata. and it's all talk about colors. So we'll read the commentary on this. So asan varnastrayo hi asya granato anuyugam tanu shuklo raktas tathapita idanim krishna tamgata. That he had 3 colors earlier, which were white, red and yellow, and now he is Krishna in color. So he says, Tava putras tvayam kopi mahapurusha eva iti Srinandam bodhayanaha asaniti. So your son is some great person, Mahapurusha. To indicate this, he speaks this verse asaniti. Otherwise there was no need to speak about his past colors. He did not ask that. He only asked about give their name and predict something about the future. But what color he had, that is not the question. But he wants to impress on Nanda Maharaj that he is not some ordinary child. And with this intention he spoke this. So Pratiyugam Tanu Grihnato Asya Shukladayas Trayo Varna Asan. So in taking the form in every yuga, he had 3 other colors. Grihnata iti swatantrayoktiva yoga prabhava darshata. And by the word Grihnata, that he accepted. So this is to show that he has some yogic powers. And therefore he is not just under the law of karma. Idanim, so Idanim now, which means Dwaparante, at the end of Dwapara, because that's when Krishna appeared. So he appeared 125 years before the end of Dwapara, because the day he left, Kali started. So just last part of Dwapara. So Dwaparante Krishna Tam Gata iti. Now he has taken the black color. Satyadi avtaranam chaturunam shukladinam upasana siddhatvena tattat sarupya praptya iti bhavo nandam bodhetum ipsita. So he wants to say that in the 4 yugas there were 4 avatars, yuga avatars, having their color as Shukla, Rakta. He says Pita here, but later Shyama and then Krishna. So these 4 colors, so he has acquired those 4 colors by perfecting Upasana. Upasana Siddhatvena. Because when you worship, you can get Sarupya. If you meditate on somebody for a long time, you can become like that. Right? So he meditated so much that he himself became like the color. So Sarupya Praptya iti bhavo Nandam bodhetum ipsita. So this is what he wants to say. Vastutastu, but in reality that is not the fact. It is not that he attained those colors by meditating on them. So what is the fact? He says Asya avatarinas tattad varnavanto avatara amsha eva. So in reality he is avatari, he is the source of avatars, and those different avatars in the other yugas having the various colors, they are only his parts, amshas, which means the expansions. Idani mayam avatari purnaha krishnatvam prapta. And now he has appeared himself as an avatari Purusha. So that is what it means, Krishnatvam Prapta. Or the meaning is Yadva ya Shuklaha yo Raktaha yah Pitascha Uplakshnam etat yo yo Anyo Manvantara Avatara Lila Avatara Purusha Avatara Adischa Sa Sarvopi Idanim Anshino Asya Avatar Samaye Krishnatam Etad Ruptam Asmin Antarbhutatam Gataha. So what it means is that not only that these 4 Yoga avatars of white, red and 2 different types of blacks, not only these but all other avatars, because primarily there are 3 types of avatars, Manvantara avatar, Lila avatar and Guna avatar. So all these avatars and anyone else also, like the yoga avatars, so whatever miscellaneous avatars are there, so they are all his amsas. So sarvepi idani manshino, so now all of them, they have entered in him, and that's why they have all become blackish. That is the meaning Idanim Krishna Ruptam, Krishna Tam Gata. So the meaning of the sloka is that that who was Shukla in Satyuga and Rakta in Treta and Pita, whenever is that, because he is in Dwapar now, so previous Kali Yuga. So they all have become Krishna, means now when he has come, they are all inside him, so their color has also become black only. If you go inside, then you are also black. So Krishnatam etad ruptam asmin antarbhutatam gata. So they have taken this color, rupa here means color, or the meaning is that they are subsumed in him, they are part of him only, they are not independent of him. Sarvamsham adaya eva avtirnatvat. Why is that? Because Krishna is avatari and therefore he has come along with all his amsas. So there is nothing which is remaining independently. Nanu, so now he comes to the slokas from the 11th canto, 5th chapter, where these avatars are being described by Karbhajan, sage to King Nimi. So this is little bit, because when you have to explain, you have to also make sure that if there is any contradiction, that should be taken care of. So this does not match with what is said there. So that's why it says that, what about that description given there? So there it is said that Krite Shuklas Chaturbahu. So there it says that Krite Shukla Chaturbahu Jatalo Valkalambar. That in Krityuga, the avatar is white in color and he has 4 arms. And Tretayam Rakta Varno Asav, and then Tretayam Rakta Varno Asav Chaturbahu Stri Mekhala. So he is also having 4 arms in Treta and he is red in color. So these 2 are matching in the sloka. Because sloka also says Shukla Rakta. So there is no problem with that. The problem comes the next one. So then he says Dwapare Bhagavan Shyama. So in Dwaparam he is Shyama. color, blackish. Shyama also blackish. But here it says Pitam. And Kalau, in Kali Yuga also Krishna Varnam, black color. So Kali Yuga is black, Dwapar is black. It is not stated how many arms they have. Satyuga 4 arms, Treta Yuga 4 arms. Syam and Krishna, it's not said that they are 4 arms. So this has to be matched with what is said here. So here one color is a problem. Pita. So iti Tretayam and then Kalau, Krishna Varnam to Sakrishnam, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11.5, 21, 34 slokas, iti Ekadashokti. And then he quotes from Laghu Bhagavatamritam. Kathyante varnanamabhyam shukla satyuge harihi raktah shyamah pramat krishnas tretayam dvapare kalau. So in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, when there is a description of avatars, there it is said that in Satyuga he will be known as Shukla by color and by name. His color is also Shukla white, his name is also white, Shukla. Like these days we have Shuklas, right? Our electrician, Shukla. So many Brahmanas have the surname Shukla. So his color and name both are Shukla in Satyuga. So that is clear, no problem. And Rakta, then in the next half of the verse, he only gives the colors, doesn't say their names. So there is Rakta, Shyama and Krishna. And in order they appear in Treta, Dwapar and Kali. So this is the summary given in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. And this is in order of what is described in the 11th canto of Bhagavata. Because 11th canto gives this Sukla, Rakta, Shyama and Krishna. So he just takes from there. Iti Bhagavatamrita uktescha. So now the question comes, this word Pita here suddenly. So the word Pita is the problematic word. So therefore he raises this question, Pitoyam kim yugiya avatara? That this Pita, in which yuga did he come? Because according to the list of yoga avatara, there is no mention of Pita. And here Gargacharya is saying Pita. Pila Baba. So where does he fit in? Which yuga you have to adjust him? Maybe in one yuga there were 2 yuga avatars. One Shyama and one Pita, or one Krishna or one Pita. Somewhere he have to fit him. So therefore this question is asked, Pitoyam kim yugiyo avatara? That to which yuga this Pita belongs. So now he says, Nacha asan iti bhutakala nirdeshena kram praptaya pitopi dvapar yuga avatara iti vachyam. So now he says that one can say, well, the word used here in this sloka is asan, which means was. So Shukla, Rakta and Pita, all 3 are in the past, Bhutkal. And now is Idanim Krishnatam Gata, this is the present. So if you say Shukla is in Satyuga and Rakta is in Treta Yuga, then Pita is also of Dwapar. So since this is the end of Dwapar, earlier one more avatar had come. And this is at the tail end. right? And Garga Muni is not saying that he is avatar. He only said that he acquired these colors. So that means Pita also belongs to Dwapar. So don't say like that. So asaniti bhutkal nirdeshena karam praptya pito api Dwapar yugavatara iti na cha vachyam. Says this, you should not say this. Why is that? Yugavatara prakarana patitatvat. न च तत्रस्थ श्याम पदस्य पीतार्थत्वमत्रस्थ पीत पदस्य वा श्यामर्थत्वम कल्प्यमिति. So he says, because this is read in the Yuga Avatar Prakarana, that in Yuga Avatar Prakarana he was Shyam, that Shyam padasthasya Pītārthatvam Atrastha Pīt padasya va Syamarthatvam iti kalpam. So he says you cannot say that Dwapare Bhagavan Shyama. Right, in the 11th canto, 5th chapter, they say in Dwapar he will be Shyam. So you cannot say that Shyam actually means Pita. And therefore there is no problem. Because if Shyam means Pita, then Shukla, Rakta, Pita and Krishna. But that does not, how can you say this? Or you cannot say that Pita means Syam. Either you have to say Syam means Pita, or you have to say Pita means Syam. Right? Somehow you have to equate Pita and Syam, then only you solve the problem. So he says that that cannot be said. Nacha tatrastha Syam padasya Pītārthatva matrastha Pīta padasya va Syamarthatva kalpyamiti. So then he said, well, we can solve this problem in another way. After all, we have studied Sandhi. So now we don't have a problem. So he says this Tatha Pita. So he says Tatha Pita means Tatha Apita. Dasavatara Ekatmake Militva Trivikrama. So it was Tatha plus Apita. And therefore A before Pita and A after Tatha, it became Trivikrama and just became Tatha Pita. So therefore make it Apita and there is no problem. It's problem solved. And Apita means Shyam. How do you like that? So therefore he says Tatha Apita iti akara prashleshena apitaha Shyama iti va vachyam. So he says that also you cannot say. Why is that? What is the problem with that? The problem with that, he says, is that sarvathapi vyakhyane anuyugam iti vipsa prayogat. He says that there is another word in this sloka which is anuyugam. Means in every yuga. So it has to be one yuga each. Now if you say Shukla, Rakta and Apita means Shyam, then in Treta there will be two avatars. There will be Krishna and Apita. Because Krishna is also in Dwapar. So that Anuyugam, what will happen to Kali Yuga, that is not mentioned there. Because it says Anuyugam Tanu. Varnastrayhi asya Granito Anuyugam Tanu. So sarvatha bhi व्याख्याने अनुयुगमिति विप्सा प्रयोगात् तनुरिति बहुवचनात् च विप्सया च एकैकस्मिन् युगे वर्णत्रयस्य प्राप्ते नाभिमता अर्थलाभ. So you cannot also say that all three appeared in one yuga. In every yuga, three appeared. Shukla Rakta Pita in Satyuga, Shukla Rakta Pita in Treta Yuga, and Shukla Rakta Pita in Dwapara. Because it says they appeared. Ekakasmanipi Yuga Varnatrasya Praptir Nabhimata. He says that does not solve the problem. न च इदानीमिति पदेन कलियुगस्य इदमो अंश आदिमो अंश एव वाचनीय इति वाच्य. Or you can say, well, Pita is in Dwapar and Idanim, although it is Dwapar, but because it's just the end and Kali Yuga is beginning, it means in Kali Yuga. So then problem is solved, that Shukla is in Satyuga, Rakta is in Treta, Pita is in Dwapar, and Krishna is in Kali Yuga. Because Idanim, although Idanim means now, and now was Dwapara, right? So he says, take it Kali Yuga, because it's not too far away. So tat samipye tadvat. It's like Gangayam Ghosha. So Gangayam means near Ganga, right? Lakshmi. Instead of river, it means bank of the river, means tat samipe. So no problem. So he says that also you cannot say. What is the problem with that? So na cha idanimiti padena kalyugasya adimo amsha eva vachniya iti vachyam. Why it cannot possible? Because Krishna avatarasya dwaparantar bhavatvena prasiddhi. Says it is well known that Krishna appeared in Dwapar Yuga, not in Kali Yuga. And it is very clearly stated in Bhagavatam, at least 4 or 5 places, and one he cites here, that only the day Krishna left, that's when Kali Yuga began. So yasmin nahani yarhi eva bhagavan utsasarjagam tadeva iha anuvritto aso adharma prabhu kali. So this already came in the first canto, that the very day and the very moment Krishna left earth, that day and that very moment Kali Yuga started. So as long as Krishna was on earth, Kali Yuga was not there. So then he cannot be called the avatara for Kali Yuga. It is not possible. So he is in Dwapara, then Pita cannot be in Dwapara, because he has said Anuyug. So therefore Pita has to be Kali Yuga. There is no other possibility. So you have to push Pita into Kali Yuga. That will be good news for the Gaudiyas. Because besides Gaudiya, nobody is going to bother about it. At most they will say Apita.
But Babaji, this breaks the crumb then. Anu-yuga is not followed here then.
Why?
Because Sukla, Rakta and Pita. So that crumb is not born. If you take the Pita for the Kali Yuga.
Anyuga simply means Prati Yuga, means one in each Yuga. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that it has to be in the order. Yugam yugam anuyugam. Means one in each yuga.
Related to the word Pratyuga, he uses this phrase vipsya prayog. Could you explain what that term means?
Lakshanam vipsayitham bhutasu abhirbhage pariprati. Anuesu saharthecha hinotupasya kathyate. So Lakshan, Vipsa and Itham Bhuta. In this meaning, Anu is used. Lakshan Vipsa Itham Bhayatesu Abhir Bhage, Bhag also, Pari, Prati, Anu. They are used in these meanings. So he is taking the meaning of Vipsa. Means repeating. Vipsa means repeating. Means he took this color, then he took this color, he then took in this color. So anuyugam. So repetition. He was born, then he was born, then he was born.
So in the term, the prayoga is referring to the usage of this meaning of anu, or to the action that is being described?
No, anuyugam gives that meaning. Anuyugam, that's what it means. Vipsa. And of course that has to go with him, asan. Because Vipsa signifies action. But action of what? Appearing in each yuga. So Prati is more common. Right? Like you say, प्रत्येक विद्यार्थी को लड्डू दे दो. So you say प्रति विद्यार्थी लड्डूम ददो. Laddukam. So prati means vipsa, because you have to give so many times.
Babaji, does he use the terms Krishna and Shyama interchangeably, or does he make a distinction?
Say it again, what's your question?
The terms Krishna and Shyama, does he use them interchangeably, or does he make a distinction?
Who uses interchangeably?
Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary.
No, he is not using them interchangeably. He is keeping Shyama as Shyama and Krishna as Krishna.
So that means Krishna appears, so one appearance in Kali Yuga is Krishna and in Dwapara it's Shyama? Because usually Krishna has the name Shyama also as the name of Krishna.
He has not said anything about it. He is only trying to accommodate this Pita. So he says that the avatar of Sukla and Rakta, there is no problem. Problem is that Krishna is coming in Dwapara. But in the list of Yuga Avatara, Krishna is in Kali Yuga. And Shyama is in Dwapara. He is not saying that this Krishna is Swama and then Krishna. He is not saying anything like that. He has not said anything. He is saying that this Krishna is in Dwapara only. And then later on he can say that Krishna and Shyama are one and Pita is... He will say that, he will explain that in some Kali Yuga it is Pita who comes. Because that's the point he has to make. That although regularly the Yuga avatars are Shukla, Rakta, Shyama and Krishna. This is the regular order of avatars in 4 yugas. But when Krishna comes in Dwapara, which is in the 28th Chaturyogi of Manvantara, then Shyama is inside Krishna And then Pita comes after that in Kali Yuga. And that Krishna is in that Pita. So that is once in 1000. Means 999 times it is Shukla Rakta Shama Krishna, Shukla Rakta Shama Krishna. But then in the 1000th time it is Shukla Rakta Krishna Pita. And that is what is being talked here, because Gargacharya is speaking about this particular one, Idanim. He is not speaking of Yugavataras in general. He is talking about what is now. You understand? So now the situation is that Shukla Rakta, there is no confusion with that. Problem comes when Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in Kali Yuga, and he is Pita. So that's what is being talked here. So then of course he says, why did he say past tense? So past tense because he has also come once before. It is not that this is on the first time. It happens every day of Brahma. Or you can say Idanim means just now he is also coming. What is the big problem? Idanim this also. Pita and Krishna are both are Idanim. Because what is 486 years? No, 5,000. Because he came. So let's read how he is going to sort it out. So therefore he says, Krishna avatara anantaram eva kaliyuga pravritte tasmadevam atra vyakhyam. So now he says that the problem is that Kaliyuga began only when Krishna avatar came, left. After his disappearance, then only Kaliyuga began. So therefore he says that we have to understand this sloka as follows. He says, Yattador nitya sambandhat यथा इदानीं द्वापरान्ते कृष्णतां गतः स्वयं अवतारी तथा तेनैव प्रकारेण इदानीं कलियुगादि भागे पीत इति किंचित स्थूल कालम अवलंब्य इदानीमिति पदार्थम उभयत्रपि अन्वेति. So he says that this idanim you have to repeat. That he had 3 colors. Of course, he says varnastrayo, asan varnastrayo hi asya granato anuyugam. That rakta, shukla rakta, pita. But he says now idanim pita and idanim krishnatam. So idanim krishnatam is no problem. But idanim pita, he says you have to just extend that little time, that he is also going to be pita. That's how he is adjusting it. It is a little bit of stretch. And I don't see any yat and tat. It's only one idanim. But you have to say that yah, asya is there, that this and idanim. So it's little bit of, not little bit of, it is quite a bit of exercise to explain this sloka properly. I did not see how other commentators explain it. It will be interesting what they say. Did they touch the word Pita at all? Or they don't bother about it? So we can actually check that in the next class.
What does Stula column refer to?
Means extended. Idanim generally is used for now. So he says extend it, stretch it. Sthul means bigger. Idanim is going little 5,000 down the line. Idanim means present, but he's taking it 5,000 years down the road.
He says kinship. He says kinship.
Yeah, I mean, kinchit. So, pita iti kinchit sthula kalam avlambya idanim iti padartham uvyatrapi anveti. So, therefore, idanim has to be applied both, that idanim krishnatam gata and idanim pita gamisyati. Idanim pitam ganta. नरो तर्हि साक्षात् क्रियमाणो अस्य कृष्णो वर्ण है किमिदानीं तनम एव किं वा पूर्वमपि असौ आसीदेव तस्यैव प्राकट्यम अधुना. So now he says that is it that he has this black color or he got black color now only? Or he all had and he made it manifest now. What is it? It's black color. Tatra na kevalam Krishna varnam eva purvam asit apitu anyepi varna asan eva ityaha asaniti. So he says it's not that he has become Krishna now, although it looks like that in the verse. He says all the colors are always there. What to speak of Krishna, what to speak of Shukla, Rakta, Pita, they are Nitya color. They are permanent colors. They don't change. And then they come. So therefore asan. Asan means he had it. He had the red color, he had this, and he has this also. So that is the meaning of asan. So dirshamanas tattat purvampi asaneva nityasthitanam eva tesham tadanim prakatyam natu te tadanim eva purva bhavan. So they have this eternal position, and it is not that they manifested or they became like that, but they appear at that time. Asya katham bhutasya anuyugam tanur avtaran granata. So who is this person who has all these avatars, Shukla, Raktas, Tatha? Now he is explaining the verse not the way Gargacharya is trying to make Nanda Maharaj understand, but the way we should understand it. Now he is leaving Nanda separate. He is talking about us. He says this boy has got many avatars. To Nanda Maharaj he did not intend to say that. To Nanda Maharaj he only intended this boy has done a lot of tapasya in the past, so he became Shukla, Rakta, all this. So he says, how is this, what is this boy, Anuyugam, who is taking these avatars in every yuga? So Anuyugam means every yuga. So then he says, avatara hi asankheya Hare Sattu Nidhirdija Yatha Vidasina Kulya Sarsahasyu Sahasrasa. Sloka came in the 3rd chapter, 1st canto. That he has got asankhya avatars because he is the Sattva Nidhi. He is the storehouse of Sattva and so many avatars. So just like thousands of rivulets come out from an inexhaustible lake, so Yatha Vidasina Kulya Sahasrasya Sahasrasa. Like that, so many avatars manifest from him. So iti Sutokte, this was stated by Sut Goswami. And Brahma also says, Kwaho katham va kati va kadeti vistaryan kridasi yogamaya. That you have, who can understand who you are and how you manifest and where you manifest and in how many ways you manifest. So Brahma also speaks this in the 14th chapter of this canto. Iti Brahmoktesya evam cha vavashvata manvantar gata ashtavinsha चतुर्युगीय द्वापर कलियुगयोः स्वयं अवतारी कृष्णः पीतश्च प्रादुर्भवति तत्तद् युग अवतारो श्याम कृष्णो तदा तत्रैव अंतर्भूतो तिष्ठति. So this is the solution, that in the 28th Chaturyugi of Manvantara, then Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga, and then Mahaprabhu comes in Kali Yuga. So he is Pita and Krishna is Krishna. And at that time, Shyama and Krishna, they are in them. In the regular Dwapar Yuga, there is a Shyama avatar. And in the regular Kali Yuga, there is a Krishna color avatar. But in the 28th Chaturyugi, there is change. Then Krishna comes himself, Swayam Bhagavan, in Dwapar Yuga. And then Mahaprabhu comes in Kali Yuga. And at that time, the one who is a Shyam color avatar for Dwapara, he is also inside Krishna. And one who is the avatar for Kali Yuga, who is black in color, he is inside Mahaprabhu. So that is the solution. So tada tatraiva antarbhutau tishtata. So they are inside him, they stay there, because there is no need for them to be separate. Tatra pitasya. So where is the mention, any mention of pita anywhere? So he says, yes, it is mentioned in Mahabharata. So Suvarna Varno Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa-krita Samashanta Nishtha Shanti Paranayati Bharatadi Uktatvepi Visheshya Spashtataya. So there it is clearly mentioned in the Sahasranam described by Bhishma in Mahabharata, that there is one avatar who is Suvarna Varna, who is golden in color, that is Pita. Hemanga, his limbs are golden, and Varanga is Chandanangadi. He has beautiful limbs and he put chandan on his body. He will take sannyas, sannyaskrita, and he is Shama Shanta, Nishtha Shanti Prana. He is equal, he is peaceful. So this is reference to Mahaprabhu. Anyatra kvapi anuktiriti rahasyatvat. So why he is not mentioned anywhere else? So he says, because this is avatar is a rahasya avatar, is a secret avatar. So any proof of that? So he says, yes, the proof of that is Channa kalau yad bhavastri goya at sattvam. So this is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Dharma Mahapurusha Pashi Yuganavrittam Channa kalau. So Triyuga, he says that you are Triyuga. And in Kali Yuga, you remain hidden. Channa kalau. In Kali Yuga, you come in a hidden way, therefore you are known as Triyuga avatar. So that is the proof. Iti Saptam Skande Shri Prahladenapi Channatvena Uktatvat. So Prahlad says this in the 7th canto. Channatvam cha sviya varna bhavyor anyadiya varna bhavabhyam avritatvena. So what is the meaning that he is Channa? Channa actually means covered. When you cover one thing with another thing, that is called Channa. So he covers his color and mood with the color and mood of someone else. So he is Anta Krishna Bahir Gaura. So he is Krishna himself, But he covers his color with the color of Radharani, and he colors his mood with the mood of, he covers the mood with Radharani's mood. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore Idanim Pita. So therefore he says that Tadanin Tan Janai Prayo Durlakshatvam eva. So therefore people of his time, they cannot see him as Krishna. Swasya Durlakshatvam Chikirsa cha tasya rahasatva rahasya vastu vyanjakta hetukam eva iti Gaudiya Bhakti Sudhibhir Avashya Avgam. So he says that those who are Gaudiya Vidwan, they should understand this, that this is the Rahasya, and Rahasya is because he wants to explain the Rahasya Vastu. Rahasya Vastu Jata Vyanjaka Hetukam eva. So that's why he intends to remain hidden. Tateva tat pramanaka vachanasya nana tantra vidhanene kalavapi tathashrinu. So therefore when it comes to explaining the avatar in Kali Yuga, then he recites this sloka. After he finished explaining about Krishna, and he said, Iti dvapara urvishastunvanti jagdishvara, that in this way he is worshipped in Dvapara. Now he says, Nana tantra vidhanene kalavapi yathashana. So now he says here now how he is worshipped by Nana tantra vidhan in Kali. And then he speaks the famous verse, Krishna varnam tu sa Krishnam sango pangastra parshadam yajyahi sankirtana prayar yajantihi sumedasa. So these are the important slokas for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. For others they don't have any importance or any extra importance. But Gaudiya Sampradaya is hinged on this sloka and the one which we are reading. Because there is no clear mention of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anywhere except this sloka from Bhagavatam. And all the slokas which are quoted here and there from this Purana, that Purana, I searched all of them, there is nothing to be found. The only place you can find is that Krishna Yamal Tantra. So that mentions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then people say these are all products of Gaudiyas.
One question, Babaji.
Yeah, go on.
Yes.
Please go on.
Here the Rahasya Vastu, what is really indicating for Rahasya Vastu here?
Rahasya Vastu is Raganuga Bhakti. Rahasya Vastu is Bhagavatam. That is the Rahasya. Prema Pumartha Mahan, that is the Rahasya. Because it says Rahasya Vastu Jatam. Jatam means many secrets.
And isn't there in Chaitanya Upanishad, is it a recent thing or it was already there, which explains about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Chaitanya Upanishad I have not seen anywhere printed. So I don't know. Maybe you can speak.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur printed the text. Jagannatha Prabhu here has offered some analysis of his view of its authenticity. Jagannatha Prabhu did some analysis about the degree to which the text is accepted as an authentic Upanishad. And his analysis was that it wasn't acceptable as an authentic.
Yeah, because besides him no one makes any mention of it. If Chaitanya Upanishad was there, available to the Goswamis, they would have definitely mentioned it. Why would they not mention it? But they don't mention. Even Baldev Vidya Bhushan, he has written so many books, he tries to give pramana. So he does not mention. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur would have mentioned. So at least till the time of Baldev Vidya Bhushan, it was not available, for sure. So it came later on. So that's why people doubt it, that it is authentic. And even among, there are, I think, 270 Upanishads printed by Chakhamba. I have them. So they even have Allah Upanishad. Because Aurangzeb had a brother whose name was Darashikoh. And he was very much impressed by Upanishads. So he called Pandits to write one Upanishad about Allah. So they have included even Allah Upanishad in this collection of Upanishads. All kinds of Upanishads are listed there. Generally you hear there are 108 Upanishads. But this book has got, I think they're 270 or 230, but certainly more than 200. So if Chaitanya Upanishad was somewhere, they would have printed that also. If they can print Allah Upanishad, why not Chaitanya? So that means Chakhamba people did not find it anywhere. Yes, Bhushan.
Yes, Babaji, I had maybe 3 questions. So the first question is like on the word Suvarna Varna Hemango. So the Sanskrit, the question of Sanskrit. So I was just had a doubt that Suvarna Varna, is it natural? Is it because of the Chandan he wears, or is it independent of the Chandan?
No, Chandan is separate. Suvarna Varna Hemangi. Hemangi itself says that he has golden limbs. Anga means limbs. Hema is golden. So it has nothing to do with Chandan. Chandan later on he says that Varangas Chandan Angadi.
Babaji, the second question I had was, is it, so this doubt is like, is it possible to interpret the Pita avatar, which will come in the future, as some kind of abstract, like a name of Krishna or Bhagavatam or something like that, and not a person actually, not like a person who is, but like a name of Krishna as avatar in the Kali Yuga. So why would that be incorrect?
Yeah, because here the talk is of the colors. So now you are making 2 different topics in this sloka. Because it says Asam Varna Strayo. So he says 3 colors. So now then you have to say that 3 then you have to interpret 3 as something else, 2. It says that he has 3 colors, Varna. So he's not talking about name. Even Krishna is not saying that his name is Krishna, he's saying Varna is Krishna. That's why I say that you will read the sloka, he never gave him a name Krishna. Only from Vishnu Purana you know that he gave name Krishna, but here in Bhagavatam it's not clearly stated that Gargacharya named him Krishna, unless you deduct it from the word Krishna Tam Gata.
Final question, if I may, is also, for example, even if one says, okay, there's a Pita avatar, the question is then how do we know that it is identified Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? One could say maybe it's Jayadeva Goswami, because he is the first one who wrote about Govinda, Gita Govind. He also composed some kirtan music and so on.
Yeah,
or maybe
but
it will come in the future.
yeah, you can, of course, you can say that since nothing is very clearly stated. But Bhagavatam says that in Kali Yuga, what is important is Kirtan and Nam, and this is what he propagated. So Jayadeva Goswami wrote songs, that's true, but he did not propagate Kirtan. So that's what makes the difference. Because there's a lot of description of Kali Yuga here. Kalim sabhajanti arya gunagya sarbhagina yatra sankirtana eva sarva swartha vilapnate. Says that in Kali Yuga, Sankirtan will be popular and you can attain perfection through Sankirtan only. So this is a known fact that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who popularized Sankirtan. It's a historical fact. So that if at all this Pita refers, it refers to him only. If it doesn't refer to him, okay, then we don't know what it refers to, but you cannot apply it to someone else and then explain this slokas. Because that sloka itself says that Krishna Varnam tu Sakrishnam Sango Pangastra Parsadam Yagya Sankirtanai Prayar Ajanti. So Sankirtan Yagya is mentioned clearly, and Sankirtana is the speciality of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. It is not the speciality of Sri Sampradaya or Madhva Sampradaya.
You mentioned that you had difficulties tracing these other quotes from other Puranas. Is it also true for this Mahabharata?
No, Mahabharata is available.
Okay, and this is accepted by everyone.
Because it is there and it is part of Sahasranam, which is so popular all over India.
Okay.
Especially in South India, practically even school children know it. Vishnu Sahasranam is very popular in Sri Sampradaya.
And do you know how they identify that person?
Well, there are so many names of Vishnu. Now you are not going to identify. They just name of Vishnu. So many names mentioned there. You are not identifying each name with some form.
I see.
They are names of Vishnu.
So it could also be some Shakti Avatar, some.
It doesn't have to be. I'm saying there it is just part of Vishnu Sahasranam. 1000 names of Vishnu. It's like if there are Gopal Sahasranam. So there are 1000 names of Gopal, so there are 1000 names of Gopal. Why you have to now take something and apply somewhere? Why would you do that?
And my other question would be, could you explain who is generally identified as the regular Krishna avatar in Kali Yuga?
Who is identified as the Rakta in Treta?
So again, just some Yuga avatar who...
Then you have to be in that Kali Yuga, then you will know. we are in the wrong Kali Yuga for that. I mean, they will be known in that Yuga. But it's not somebody very popular.
I had one question related to that is, in that instance of that other or general Kali Yuga avatar whose Varna is Krishna, in that context, is that Varna synonymous with what we think of as the Sham Varna or this blackish hue, or is there a...
Well, there is mention of Shukapakshi or something. There is sloka. I think, where does it come? that it is like greenish. Maybe it will come in 11th canto when we talk of these slokas.
So, just in other words, in that standard context, the hue of the Dvarpara avatar and the Kali avatar are different.
Yeah. Can give the mic to him.
So if I'm born in Satya Yuga, my object of meditation would be Shukla. Does that mean if I'm not perfected, or no, let's say I'm perfected meditator, I will live then in my Kunta with Shukla?
Mm.
Okay. So then, when we come to Shyam, before Kali Yuga, the Dvapara Yuga, would it not be same happiness for the people in Dvapara Yuga who actually till now worshipped Shyam? Now suddenly Krishna comes. Will it be not a big party and everybody says, wow, Shyam is actually Krishna? So and everybody goes in and lives with Krishna? You know what I want to say? Because now in Kali Yuga, we know that Chaitanya is Krishna and he takes us to Vaikuntha.
Yeah, but how many people know in this Kali Yuga that Chaitanya is Krishna?
Just a little bit. Like
So similarly, how many people knew in Dwapara Yuga that Krishna is Bhagavan?
Also just like this. But would it be like a same kind of event? Even though it's only for 10 people that are going to go there?
What kind of event?
Well, I think it's amazing that we know Chaitanya, and Chaitanya takes us to Krishna. So if I was a meditator of Shyam, and now I come to know that he is actually Krishna, and I will live with him,
How would you come to know?
I don't know. I mean, it's like that every 1,000 reincarnations, this shift happens. That Krishna is beat down.
It's not
And
every
Shyam is
1,000.
Krishna.
It's not every 1,000 years.
No, yugas, I see. Cycles.
Yeah.
So the shift happens. So Shyam is Krishna and
Yeah, so you don't know this. This is now we are analyzing it like that. People in Dwapara don't think like that. That this shift is happening and actually happening. Because Syama and this Syama is Krishna. There's nothing like that. And the Maharaj himself is worshipping Narayana. Just because he is Yuga Avatar does not mean that everybody knows him as Yuga Avatar when they are worshipping. It's like Manvantara Avatar. How many people know who is the Manvantara Avatar for our Manvantara? How many know? So then just for some few guys who read Shastra. Common people, some are worshipping Shiva, some people are worshipping Durga, some people worship Ganesh, different people worship. Some people worship Dattatreya.
I have a second question. Now, it is mentioned that your son has done many tapasya in other lives.
He didn't say it clearly, that is commentator who is saying. He just said that he has taken 3 colors before, in 3 yugas. That's all he said.
So my question is, these are all eternal, liberated beings. And do they know about death and birth?
Who?
Nanda Maharaj.
Yeah, they know.
Even though they know. So once we are...
They see people dying.
So yeah,
Otherwise, why would they be worried about Krishna's death?
But, okay, in the spiritual world, we will all know that about death and birth.
Yeah.
But nobody is born there. Nobody dies there.
So the magic. Because you don't know, the spiritual world is here only. This is the magic. Have you seen magic shows? Yeah? So suddenly something happens and you say, wow, really? I didn't know this. So this is the big magic which goes on and still people don't know that it is a magic. People imagine too many things. The reality is this, that Nanda Maharaj is also afraid of death. Somebody is going to come and kill Krishna. Gargacharya will tell him, protect this boy. Everybody is worshipping this boy for protection. Mrityo mrityuyal bhita palayan. So he's saying, no, protect him. They were doing all this mantra chanting for him. So that means they are not thinking that he is God. They are not thinking he is eternal. They don't think like that. They think like anyone else, this is my child, he can die. This is the madhurya. What you are thinking is Aishwarya. And there is no death, there is no birth. That is here for you so that you can become a devotee. Once you will become, you will forget this. There is no birth, there is death. Then there is birth and there is death. Although it is not there, you will not have birth and death. But you will not think like that. Unless some sadhu comes and starts preaching to you. When you are in spiritual world, some Narad Muni comes here and preaches to you, then you may get this idea, really? I can become liberated. That's why all the Brajvasis, they ask Krishna, where will we go after we die? If they were thinking we are eternal, where is the question of this? They ask him, where will we go next life? Please tell. So he says, okay, come with me. He brought them to the Brahmarada, that Akrura Ghat. He says, go inside. What do you see? So that was the magic. Okay. So I'll stop.